Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Claire and you are watching another episode of my cake chemistry series, the one where I talk all about the science behind baking. If you're enjoying these videos so far, please remember to give them a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications button so that you don't miss any of the latest updates from me. And if you've got any questions, topics you'd like me to cover in the future, please do pop them in the comments below or come and say hello to me over on Instagram. After many requests, today I'm going to show you how to make my signature sponge, which is what I use for most of my cakes. It's basically like a Victoria sandwich cake. I love it, my customers love it, you really can't go wrong. And the best thing about it is that you only require 4 ingredients. I have already pre-weighed my 4 ingredients because I'm feeling organised today. Starting with butter or margarine. Now, a bit controversial, I prefer to use margarine in my cakes. However, not just any margarine. If you're going to use one, make sure that it's one specifically designed for baking. It needs to be a fat content of 70% or more. Stork is my go-to brand of choice, but there are others available. I will talk a little bit more in the future about the difference between butter and margarine. Butter really is superior for its flavour, however I just think that using margarine gives a slightly moister cake because it actually contains more moisture itself. So that's what I'm using today. Second ingredient is sugar. This is white castor sugar. That's pretty simple. No more explanation needed. And then we have got our eggs. I'm using 4 free-range medium-size eggs. I have also weighed those and they come to about 240 grams. Now for this cake recipe, you want equal quantities of all of your ingredients. So 240 grams of eggs, therefore 240 grams of butter, sugar, and of course flour. I am using self-raising flour. Is also at room temperature, which is very important when it comes to making our cake. Now I'm going to spin you around to the other side of the kitchen where I have my Kenwood mixer waiting for me, my stand mixer. You don't have to use a stand mixer, you can use a freehand electric whisk. Or you can do it by hand with a wooden spoon. It just takes a little bit more effort, I suppose. But back in the day when I started baking, that's the way that I always did it. And it's quite a good little workout, to be fair. I just love using my stand mixer because I can beat so much air into it. And that's how I get my cakes so light and fluffy. So first, our butter is going in, or margarine in my case. Pop that in there, followed by the castor sugar. I'm just going to pop all that in. I'm going to beat these together first. Some people use the all-in-one method where you put all the ingredients straight in the bowl, beat it and put it in the oven. Personally, I prefer to start by doing it this way and beating the ingredients in individually because I think it just makes a lighter cake, but you do what you want to do. So just put that in place. I'm going to start it at a low speed and then I'll gradually increase it to number 4 on my mixer. That's what I always do. Number 4, it's my favourite number. And we'll beat the butter and sugar for about 4 or 5 minutes or so. Okay, so that's actually been beaten together for around 6 minutes now. It's nice and light and fluffy. I don't know if you'll really be able to see, but it's looking good. It's lighter in colour and the volume has increased. That's how I know it's been beaten for long enough. So now I'm going to start adding my eggs. one at a time, and I will beat each egg for about 1 minute before I add the next one. Okay, we are up to 10 minutes on the clock, so it's time to stop beating. Take our mixture. Don't worry at this stage if it is slightly curdled. It's absolutely fine. It's not going to affect the final texture of the cake, even if some people say it will. We're going to mix in our flour and everything is going to come together and it'll be nice and smooth again before we pop it in the oven. Mixture, flour, and you're going to need a sieve. Okay, now we want to carefully fold in our flour. Okay, so now that's all nice and smooth. It's ready to put into our cake tins. If you find the mixture is a bit thick at this stage, you can add a little bit of milk. I just don't normally find it necessary. I've preheated my oven to 170 degrees centigrade, which is around gas mark 3, 4. A lot of recipes will say 180 degrees. I just tend to go slightly lower and bake my cake a little bit slower. You don't want to go too low though, otherwise the cake's not going to rise at all and it will be prone to sink. This amount of mixture will normally make 2 7-inch sandwich tins. However, today I'm making a 6-inch cake, so my tins are here and I'm using 3 of them. I'm going to have 3 layers, but you can just do it as a 2-layer cake, and as I say, 7 to 8-inch diameter tins. So I'm going to divide this between my 3 tins and then they will be ready to go in the oven. Are now baked, as you can see just behind me. They took around 25 minutes, so fairly long, but as I say, I do bake them at a slightly lower temperature for a little bit longer, and my tins are quite deep, but it's going to vary depending on your oven, depending on what size tin you're using, all sorts of factors. Really, you want to wait until they are well risen, golden brown, and when you insert a knife or a skewer it comes out clean. So I'll just show you these a little bit closer up. They're nice and level as well, which is great because that means that I'm not going to have to do too much trimming. I'm going to leave my cakes to cool in the tin for around 10 minutes and then I'll take them out and put them onto a cooling rack. If yours do come out slightly peaked or like domed in the center, you can flip them upside down onto your cooling rack and that will help them flatten out a little bit as they cool. Then I'll leave them for another half an hour to an hour until they are completely cool. Don't start icing cakes when they're warm because it's just all going to melt. And then I can get on with the decorating part. There are of course lots of different options for flavours, fillings, decorations. Personally, I like to fill mine with a good layer of vanilla buttercream followed by raspberry jam, but you can really be as creative as you like with this. The raspberry and vanilla flavour is the most popular cake that I do. It's a classic, everybody loves it, and you really can't go wrong. For the full cake recipe, please check out the link below. It will take you to my site where I'm going to be adding a lot more cakey baking recipes in the future. And of course, if you have a go at making it, make sure you tag me in your photos at Claire Elizabeth Creates and use the hashtag #MakingLifeSweeter. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hoped you enjoyed it and it was helpful. I had quite a lot of fun making it. See you next time, guys. Bye.